I am the age of most of the ghosts that live here. The men and women came from all over the world, sailing ships from China, fleeing the famines in Ireland, farmhands and cowboys, the tenements of New York City, small towns across the Midwest. They came here to make their fortunes, in search of adventure, and most of them died before the age of 35. They died of exposure. They died in famous mine collapses. They died of influenza and diseases they picked up in the brothel here. They breathed in lead dust in the Union Mine and got sucked into machinery. They died in gunfights over card games. They died of suicide and alcoholism and little cuts that got infected. Some are buried in the cemetery here. Some are still trapped down in the mines. They work 12-hour days and 7-day weeks for subsistence-level wages. They had dreams of enormous riches, of escaping the strife of their homeland, of a different kind of life. They died of heartbreak and homesickness and were buried below wooden headstones, now lost to time. The sardine cans that they subsisted on and discarded, the Prince Albert tins they tucked claim papers in. It's this evidence that I find in the washes and in the gullies that testifies that any of them ever existed at all. Not that this place was any kinder to the owners of the mines. I am now the latest in the long line of owners. Nearly every single one of them was ruined. They made fortunes and then lost them. They lost marriages and reputations. Their ambition curdles inside them, turning their hearts to stone. The only evidence they ever existed is etched in the legal record of hundreds of now forgotten court cases, newspaper scandals, and the occasional street sign. Obliques mark their grave sites back in civilization. Only one chose to be buried here. This town I am in, Cerro Gordo, is the rock of paradoxes. To me, it is beautiful, but it's also dark. It's totally barren, yet it teems with the potential of life and natural wonders. It is a dreamscape that also holds the stuff of nightmares, a place built inherently on extraction that somehow manages to take a piece out of everyone who mines it, something you think you own, until it ends up owning you. I'm the luckiest man in the world. I'm also a prisoner of this place. I live at 8,000 feet, with one of the most breathtaking views in the continental United States. I see the highest peak and the lowest valley. Beneath me are mines so valuable, they built the city of Los Angeles. Mineral veins tapped for hundreds of millions of dollars worth of silver. Yet I am hopelessly in debt. I can sleep in my choice of a dozen ramshack buildings, every one of them a piece of living history, a monument to the single-minded determination of the men who built them in this cruel, hard place. And yet nowhere can I reliably take a shower or brush my teeth. It's a whole town that's mine, once home to some 4,000 people, and now has the population of me, myself, and I. Dodge City, Tombstone, Deadwood, Virginia City, Bisbee. Cerro Gordo started earlier and lasted longer, and yet hardly anyone has ever heard of it. When it went up for sale in 2018, it cost me every single penny I had, but that was still cheaper than a half-decent 2-bedroom house in the city that probably wouldn't exist without it, Los Angeles. It was my life savings, and every single day it costs more. It is the best money I've ever spent. It's the best thing I'll ever do. On some days, it feels like the last thing I'll ever do.